Chapter 5, Building a Lasting Connection. Building a lasting connection with my inner child wasn't something that happened overnight. It wasn't just about one moment of realization or a single exercise. It was about making a consistent, intentional effort to nurture that part of myself. This chapter is about how I learned to deepen that connection, creating a foundation of trust, love, and understanding between myself and the inner child I had so long neglected. At first, it felt like reconnecting with my inner child was an occasional thing. I'd have moments of playfulness, perhaps a fleeting joy, when I'd indulge in a simple pleasure like coloring or dancing around my living room. But what I soon realized is that a true, lasting connection goes beyond those sporadic moments. It's about integrating that playful, joyful energy into the fabric of my daily life. I started by recognizing that the inner child isn't just a fragment of the past. It's a living, breathing part of me that needs attention, care, and love in the present. This part of me doesn't need to be fixed or healed entirely. It just needs to be acknowledged, accepted, and included in my everyday choices. The first step in building that connection was consistency. I began setting aside small moments throughout my day where I could engage with my inner child. It didn't have to be elaborate. Sometimes it was as simple as sitting down and letting myself color for 10 minutes, or taking a walk and letting my imagination run wild. Little by little, these moments grew. They became more frequent and more meaningful as I started to really listen to what my inner child wanted. The next piece of the puzzle was self-compassion. I had to acknowledge that I wasn't always going to get it right. There were days when I felt too tired, too overwhelmed, or too focused on other things to prioritize play. And that's okay. I had to release the pressure of perfection and embrace the fact that building this connection was a gradual process, not a race. There were moments when I'd be hard on myself for not doing enough, but I realized that these negative self-judgments were exactly what I needed to let go of. The inner child thrives in an environment of love, understanding, and patience, not guilt or shame. I also started to reflect on the ways I had been neglecting this connection in my adult life. I began asking myself, when was the last time I really laughed without care or concern? When did I last allow myself to dream freely without wondering if it was practical or realistic? Slowly, I made space for those moments again. I didn't force them, but I gave myself permission to experience joy without guilt or hesitation. One of the most powerful tools I've used in building a lasting connection with my inner child is affirmations. I started saying things like, I am worthy of joy, I trust my playful spirit, and I honor the child within me. These simple statements, repeated regularly, helped me to reinforce the idea that my inner child is just as valuable as any other part of me. It became a way of telling myself that it's okay to be playful, to laugh freely, and to experience life with a sense of wonder. Building this connection has transformed the way I approach life. It's not about escaping reality. It's about adding a new layer of richness and joy to it. When life feels heavy or overwhelming, I can lean into that playful energy and find comfort in the small, simple things. I've learned to celebrate moments of joy without guilt, to embrace creativity without fear of judgment, and to allow myself to be spontaneous without worrying about the consequences. In this chapter, I want to help you build your own lasting connection with your inner child. This is about making a commitment to yourself, not just for a week or a month, but for life. It's about carving out space for play and joy in your everyday world without waiting for the perfect moment or a dramatic shift. Through small actions, reflections, and mindset shifts, you can begin to foster a deeper, more authentic connection with the playful, creative spirit that is always inside you, waiting to be awakened. Daily practices for reconnecting. Reconnecting with my inner child has been a journey of small, consistent steps. It's not something that happens in a single moment, but rather in the small rituals I've created and the daily practices that keep me aligned with that joyful, playful part of myself. Over time, I've found that certain practices have really helped me strengthen my connection with my inner child. These aren't complicated or time-consuming, but they're powerful because they help me stay present, positive, and open to the healing process. I want to share some of these practices with you because I've found them to be incredibly helpful in nurturing the bond with my inner child. Gratitude journaling. Gratitude journaling has been one of the most grounding practices for me. I used to focus so much on what I didn't have or what wasn't going right in my life. But when I started shifting my focus to what I was thankful for, something magical happened. I began to see life through a lens of appreciation, even for the small, seemingly insignificant things. Every morning, I take a few minutes to jot down 3 things I'm grateful for. These can be big things, like the love of my family or my health, but they can also be small, like the warmth of the sun on my face or a kind word from a stranger. Gratitude helps me reconnect with the present moment, and I've noticed it shifts my perspective on life, making it easier to invite joy into my day. When I include my inner child in my gratitude journaling, it's even more meaningful. I'll write about the simple pleasures I might have overlooked as an adult, like the feeling of fresh grass under my feet or the joy of watching a favorite cartoon. By expressing gratitude for these things, I honor my inner child's playful nature and remind myself that life doesn't need to be so serious. Affirmations for inner child healing. Affirmations have been a game changer for me. They're a simple but powerful tool to rewire old thought patterns and create new, empowering beliefs. For years, I held on to the belief that I wasn't worthy of joy, that being playful was childish or irresponsible. I had to gently challenge those thoughts and replace them with affirmations that reflected the truth. I deserve to have fun, I am worthy of love, and my inner child deserves attention and care. Every day, I repeat affirmations that speak directly to my inner child. Some of my favorites are: I am worthy of joy and happiness. It's safe for me to play and have fun. I honor the playful spirit within me. I release fear and embrace love and joy. I trust my inner child to guide me to happiness. These affirmations are reminders that the playful, carefree part of me isn't something I have to outgrow or leave behind. By speaking these affirmations daily, I create a space where my inner child feels safe to express herself. And over time, I've found that these affirmations don't just heal the past. They also help me create a future where joy, play, and healing are always within reach. Meditation practices. Meditation has been a transformative tool in reconnecting with my inner child. It allows me to quiet my mind, tune into my body, and open up to the emotions and memories that have been stored in my subconscious. In the past, I used to avoid stillness, afraid of what might come up, but now I understand that it's in that quiet space where the healing happens. One of my favorite meditation practices is a guided visualization, where I imagine myself meeting my inner child. I visualize walking into a peaceful, safe place, a park, a forest, or even a sunny beach. And there I find my younger self. I sit with her, listen to her, and offer her the love and support she needs. Sometimes we play together, or simply talk. The act of sitting with her, seeing her as real and present, has been incredibly healing. I also practice mindfulness throughout my day, paying attention to the little moments that remind me of the simple joy my inner child craves. Whether I'm enjoying a warm cup of tea, walking in nature, or simply daydreaming, I use these moments as mini meditations to reconnect with that playful energy. These daily practices are a simple way to stay connected with my inner child, and they've helped me create lasting change in my life. They've shifted my mindset, allowed me to heal old wounds, and helped me to embrace joy and playfulness in a way I never thought possible. I encourage you to try these practices, or adapt them in ways that resonate with you. The key is consistency, kindness, and patience with yourself as you reconnect with the child within. This concludes this section. Take a moment to reflect on what has been spoken about and think about ways you can incorporate it into your connection efforts. Make sure to go into the workbook and use the tools provided to ensure that your connection is strong and stable. Before moving into the next section, take a few moments to yourself. In the next section, we will talk about how to create a safe space for you and your inner child.